Welcome to Corda Aurea podcast, where we talk about everything dog, from wiggly puppies to wise old companions. I'm Lorraine, and today we're diving into something fascinating: the language your dog's ears speak. Because here's the thing, while we're busy trying to interpret barks and tail wags, your dog's ears are having an entire conversation that most of us are missing. Those ears? They're not just sitting there looking cute. They're one of the most expressive parts of your dog's body, constantly broadcasting how they're feeling, what they're thinking, and how they're responding to the world around them. Think about the last time you were with your dog and something shifted. Maybe they were relaxed one moment and tense the next. Maybe they went from curious to uncomfortable. Maybe they seemed fine, but something felt off. I bet if you'd been watching their ears, you would have seen the change coming. Dogs are always communicating with us. The problem is, we're not always fluent in their language. And ears? They're like a window into your dog's emotional state, updating in real time. Once you learn to read them, it's like someone turned on the subtitles to your dog's inner dialogue. Let's start with baseline, neutral ears. Every dog has a neutral ear position. This is what their ears look like when they're calm, relaxed, and everything in their world is just fine. But here's where it gets interesting: neutral looks completely different depending on your dog's breed and ear type. A German Shepherd's neutral ears stand upright and forward. A Labrador's ears hang softly down. A Corgi's ears are perked but relaxed. A Basset Hound's ears are long, floppy, and dragging on the ground. Whatever is normal for your specific dog, that's your baseline. That's them saying, all is well. I'm comfortable. No stress here. The first step in learning ear language is spending time observing your dog when they're totally at ease. Maybe they're napping in a sunny spot, or quietly hanging out while you watch TV. Study what their ears look like in those calm moments. That's your reference point for everything else. Ears that say, I'm paying attention. Now, watch what happens when something catches your dog's interest. Those ears shift forward and perk up. Even in floppy-eared breeds, you'll see the base of the ear lift and tighten, pointing toward whatever grabbed their attention. This is your dog saying, wait, what's that? I'm tuned in. Maybe they heard a noise outside. Maybe a squirrel just crossed the yard. Maybe you stood up and they're wondering if it's walk time. Forward, alert ears mean your dog is focused and engaged. They're gathering information, trying to figure out what's happening. This isn't good or bad on its own, it's just attention. But it's useful to notice, because it tells you something has shifted in their awareness. And if you've got a dog with those mobile, upright ears, watch how they swivel independently, like satellite dishes scanning for signals. Your dog is quite literally triangulating sounds, figuring out exactly where they're coming from. It's remarkable when you stop to notice it. The ears of happiness. Here's a good one: happy, relaxed ears. When your dog is feeling great, maybe you just walked through the door or it's dinner time or you grabbed the leash, their ears are usually in that neutral to slightly forward position. But the real tell is everything else. Their whole body is loose, wiggly, soft. The ears might bounce as they move. Nothing is stiff or locked up. You're seeing joy, excitement, contentment, and the ears are part of that full body expression. When a dog does that play bow, front end down, rear up, tail going, watch their ears. They're typically up but relaxed, matching that playful energy. This is the emotional state you want to see during positive interactions, whether it's with people, other dogs, or new experiences. Loose, open, comfortable. Ears that say, I'm uncomfortable. Now we get to one of the most important signals to recognize: ears pinned flat against the head. When a dog pulls their ears back tight and flat, they're telling you they're uncomfortable. This can mean fear, anxiety, stress, or uncertainty. You might see this at the vet. During fireworks or thunderstorms. When meeting a stranger who's approaching too directly. When being scolded. When something in the environment feels threatening or overwhelming. Pinned ears are your dog saying, I'm not okay with this right now. This is too much for me. It's an early warning system. If you catch this signal and respond by giving your dog space, removing the stressor, or offering reassurance, you're hearing what they're telling you. If you ignore it, your dog might escalate. They might freeze, try to flee, growl, or in extreme situations, snap. Because they've been saying I'm uncomfortable with their body, and nobody listened. This is why learning to read ears matters. You get to intervene early, before your dog feels they have no other option. Ears that say I'm locked on. There's another ear position that can look similar to pinned ears, but the energy is completely different. Ears pulled back but not flat, positioned slightly to the sides, and the rest of the dog's body is rigid, tense, focused. This often happens when a dog is feeling threatened, highly aroused, or intensely focused on something they perceive as a potential challenge. You might see a hard stare, stiff body, raised hackles, maybe a low growl. This is a dog in a heightened state of arousal. The key difference from fear? A fearful dog wants to escape or disappear. A dog in this state is locked onto something, ready to respond if needed. If you see this, it's time to calmly create distance and break your dog's focus before the situation escalates. One ear up, one ear down. Let's talk about the absolutely adorable one ear up, one ear down situation. This typically happens when your dog is confused, curious, or really trying to figure something out. You make a weird sound, they tilt their head, and one ear goes up while the other flops to the side. They're saying, "I'm listening hard and trying to understand, but I'm not quite sure what you're doing." Sometimes it's just a quirk. Maybe one ear is naturally floppier. Maybe they're tracking two different sounds at once. Either way, it usually signals curiosity and engagement, which is a good thing. Context is everything. Here's the crucial part: you can't read ears in isolation. Ears are one part of a much bigger picture. You need to look at the tail, the body posture, the facial expression, the situation your dog is in. Forward ears with a wagging tail and loose body? That's interest and friendliness. Forward ears with a stiff body, locked gaze, and raised hackles? That's intensity and potential threat assessment. Same ear position, completely different meaning. It's like human communication. The words "I'm fine" can mean you're genuinely fine, or you're absolutely not fine, depending on tone, body language, and context. Dogs work the same way. The ears are part of the conversation, not the whole story. Dog ears come in all shapes and sizes, and that affects how easy they are to read. Breeds with upright, mobile ears like German Shepherds, Huskies, or cattle dogs are easiest to read. Every shift and swivel is visible. Floppy-eared breeds like Retrievers, Beagles, Spaniels, or Basset Hounds require more attention. You need to watch the base of the ear where it attaches to the skull. Even when the floppy part doesn't move much, the base will shift forward when they're alert or pull back when they're stressed. Breeds with cropped ears, very small ears, or heavy facial folds, you'll need to rely more heavily on other body language signals. The ears still move, but they're giving you less obvious information. Watch for changes. One of the most useful skills is noticing when ear position suddenly shifts. Your dog's ears were neutral, and suddenly they pin back. Something just made them uncomfortable. Ears were relaxed, now they're stiff and forward. Something caught their attention or put them on alert. These shifts tell you something in the environment or interaction just changed, and your dog is responding to it. That's your cue to check in. What changed? What does your dog need right now? Should you create space, offer reassurance, or redirect their attention? Let me give you some examples of how this plays out in everyday life. You're on a walk and another dog approaches. Your dog's ears go stiff and forward, body tenses. They're assessing this situation carefully. Give them space to choose whether to approach or create distance. You're at a friend's house and your dog's ears pin back when someone reaches to pet them. They're not comfortable with this interaction. Politely ask the person to give your dog space. You call your dog and their ears perk forward, tail starts wagging, body gets wiggly. They're happy to come to you. This is what recall should look like. Your dog is resting and someone approaches. Watch those ears. If they stay neutral and relaxed, your dog is comfortable. If they pin back or stiffen, your dog needs the person to back off. Learning to read your dog's ears takes time and observation. Start by simply watching your dog throughout the day. Notice what their ears do in different situations and emotional states. What do the ears do when your dog is happy? Scared? Focused? Relaxed? Uncertain? Playful? The more you observe, the more patterns you'll see. Your dog will teach you their specific language. And here's what's beautiful: once you start noticing ears, you'll start noticing everything. The tail, the body tension, the breathing, the eyes. You'll become fluent in reading your dog, and that changes everything. Your timing gets better. You intervene before problems escalate. You recognize when your dog needs support. You understand what they're experiencing. You become a better advocate for your dog because you can actually hear what they're saying. But ears tell another story too: health. Now, we've been talking about what your dog's ears communicate emotionally, but there's another language ears speak: the language of health. Your dog's ears can tell you when something's wrong, when they're uncomfortable, or when they need medical attention. And honestly, a lot of your problems go unnoticed for way too long because we're not checking regularly. What healthy ears look like. Let's start with the basics. Healthy dog ears should be clean, with maybe a little bit of normal wax that's light brown or yellow. Not excessive, not dark, not crusty. Pink inside, not red, inflamed, or swollen. Odor-free, or just that normal, slightly waxy dog smell. They shouldn't smell yeasty, sweet, or downright foul. Dry, not moist or discharge-filled. And your dog should be comfortable when you touch them. No head shaking, no pulling away, no signs of pain. If you're checking your dog's ears and they look and smell like that, you're good. But if something's off, your dog's ears are trying to tell you there's a problem. Here are the signs that something's not right with your dog's ears. Bad smell. If your dog's ears smell yeasty, sweet, musty, or just plain bad, that's often a sign of infection. Yeast infections have a distinctive sweet or musty smell. Bacterial infections can smell downright rotten. Redness or swelling. The inside of the ear flap or ear canal looks inflamed, puffy, or angry red instead of healthy pink. Discharge. You see black gunk, yellow or green pus, or excessive dark brown wax. This isn't normal buildup, this is your dog's body responding to an infection or irritation. Head shaking or ear scratching. If your dog is constantly shaking their head, scratching at their ears, or rubbing their head on the floor or furniture, something is bothering them. Sensitivity to touch. Your dog pulls away when you touch their ears, or they seem painful when you try to look inside. This is a clear sign they're uncomfortable. Hearing changes. Your dog doesn't respond to sounds like they used to, seems confused by where sounds are coming from, or doesn't react when you call them. Balance issues. In severe cases, ear infections can affect balance. If your dog seems dizzy, tilts their head constantly, or has trouble walking straight, this is an emergency. Ear infections are incredibly common in dogs, especially certain breeds. Dogs with floppy ears like Cocker Spaniels, Basset Hounds, or Retrievers are more prone because there's less air circulation. Dogs who swim a lot can get moisture trapped in their ears. Dogs with allergies often get secondary ear infections. Ear mites are more common in puppies but can happen at any age. They cause intense itching and you'll often see dark, crumbly discharge that looks like coffee grounds. Allergies, whether food or environmental, often show up in the ears first. You'll see redness, itching, and recurring infections that seem to never fully clear up. Growths or polyps can develop in the ear canal, causing blockages, discomfort, and chronic issues. Foreign objects, like grass seeds or foxtails, can get lodged in the ear canal, causing pain, infection, and damage if not removed quickly. If you have a dog with long, floppy ears, you need to be extra vigilant. Those beautiful, droopy ears create a warm, moist environment that yeast and bacteria absolutely love. There's less airflow, more moisture gets trapped, and problems can develop fast. This doesn't mean your floppy-eared dog will definitely have problems, but it does mean regular checking and cleaning becomes even more important. Some people even recommend gently lifting and holding those floppy ears up for a few minutes after baths or swimming to help them dry out. How to check your dog's ears. Make this part of your regular routine, maybe once a week. Gently lift the ear flap and look inside. You should be able to see into the ear canal without forcing anything. Smell the ear. I know it sounds weird, but a quick sniff tells you a lot. Normal dog ear smell is fine. Anything strong, sweet, or foul is a red flag. Touch the base of the ear gently and give it a soft massage. Your dog should be comfortable with this, maybe even enjoy it. If they pull away or seem painful, something's wrong. Look for any discharge, redness, swelling, or buildup. Watch your dog's behavior. Are they shaking their head more than usual? Scratching at their ears? Rubbing their face on things? Don't try to diagnose or treat ear problems yourself. Ear infections need proper diagnosis and treatment. See your vet if you notice bad smell that won't go away. Any discharge, especially if it's dark, thick, or colored. Redness or swelling. Your dog showing pain or sensitivity. Head shaking or scratching that's persistent. Any signs of hearing loss or balance problems. Your vet can look deep into the ear canal with special equipment, take samples if needed, and prescribe the right medication. Ear infections that don't get treated properly can become chronic, painful, and even cause permanent damage. Some dogs need regular ear cleaning, others don't. It depends on your individual dog. If your vet recommends cleaning, use a proper dog ear cleaner, never alcohol, hydrogen peroxide, or human products. Fill the ear canal with the cleaning solution, massage the base of the ear gently for about 30 seconds, you'll hear a squishing sound, then let your dog shake their head. Wipe away the excess with a cotton ball or soft cloth. Never stick cotton swabs down into the ear canal. You can use them to clean the outer visible parts of the ear flap, but going deep can push debris further in or damage the eardrum. And honestly, if you're not comfortable doing this, your vet or a groomer can show you how, or do it for you during regular appointments. Prevention is everything. Keep ears dry, especially after baths or swimming. You can use a soft towel to gently dry the outer ear. Regular checking means you catch problems early, before they become painful and expensive. If your dog has allergies, work with your vet to manage them. Controlling allergies often means fewer ear infections. For dogs prone to ear issues, your vet might recommend routine cleaning or preventive treatments. At the end of the day, learning to read your dog's ears is about respect and relationship, both emotionally and physically. It's about recognizing that your dog is always communicating, and they deserve to be heard. When you can see that your dog is uncomfortable before they have to escalate to growling or snapping, everyone stays safer. When you notice that your dog is fascinated by something, you can share in their curiosity. When you see those happy, loose ears, you know you're doing something right. This is how we build trust. By paying attention. By responding to what our dogs tell us. By honoring their communication even when it's subtle. Your dog is talking with their ears, both emotionally and physically. The question is, are you listening? Thanks for listening to Corda Aurea Podcast. If this episode helped you tune into what your dog's ears have been saying all along, both about their feelings and their health, follow for more insights into the canine world, and share it with a fellow dog lover who's ready to get fluent in ear language. Until next time, tune your ears into what your dog is saying. You might just hear the squirrel running across the backyard.